Another question from the audience. The basis of most things, issues in our country flows around education. What is your stance on education reform? Do you side with the teachers' union and want to end No Child Left Behind, or do you support Secretary Duncan's desire to hold teachers and administrators accountable? Do you support charter schools? That's 3 in 1.
Well, obviously, I think education is a very important issue, and we should be making sure that our young folks that are starting in early age for kindergarten, moving up, that they're getting their literacy programs and helping work with families to get them off to a good, solid foundation footing. I support charter schools. I think that adds a little competition to the education system. A little competition is a good thing. It's our power to make this country great, free market principles. I know as a business owner, during the daily business, you sometimes complain about competition, but we all know that's what makes us most efficient and creates for innovation and new developments and makes us stronger. I think on the No Child Left Behind, I really think that states and locals, governments, states and local communities and school boards should be the driver of education. I think our founding fathers put a system together with the states to encourage competition between states, because that's the only way you can really get any competition at certain government levels. And on healthcare, we haven't talked about that question comes up, but on education, we definitely the federal government's role should be more limited on education and turn it over to the states and do block grants for federal funding to encourage states to do what they need to do. But we do need to hold them accountable, and one way I think you do hold them accountable is a little competition between states and also the charter schools concept. As a state legislature, I wrestle with this all the time, and you think about this. I reference this. If you happen to be living in the city of Cleveland and you can't get out of the city of Cleveland because of economic reasons, your kid's got a 40% chance of success. That's pretty sad. I think every kid should have an opportunity. And for somebody to say that be against the voucher program that we've done here in the state for school districts that are in academic emergency or academic, whatever it's called, close to it, we need to give those opportunities to those families so they can have their kids have an alternative and get the opportunity. I think that's the responsibility of the state to make sure that those kids have those opportunities. And we had the Giroff decision, brought some good things here in Ohio. We got the #1 in the nation with new school facilities, and I think technology, we're right up there. The problem is we're spending. We're 12th in the nation in spending federal, state, and local dollars, but we're not getting all the results we should get. And we got to get more of those dollars into the classroom, and so things need to change. And I know our next governor, John Casey, will work to make those changes. But I think the closer you can keep this issue and many issues to the local level and the state level away from the federal level, the system will be more efficient and better.
I don't think there's any question that education reform should be a top priority for a lot of very good reasons, and that affects our region especially hard. In Ohio's 18th Congressional District, we have a college attainment rate of about half the national average. 11% of the people over 25 in this district have a 4-year college degree. 22% of the people in the country do. That's a gaping disadvantage and challenge that we have to deal with. I think that Mr. Gibbs mentions the Giroff case, which is the case that ruled years ago that Ohio's school funding system was unconstitutional. The reason it's unconstitutional is one of the reasons, is it's unfair. It's especially unfair to places like the counties of Ohio's 18th district that are rural and in many cases poor. And the problem with school funding in Ohio is that if you come from a wealthy district, if you're lucky enough to be born into a family that lives in a place like Hudson or Shaker Heights or Upper Arlington, you get state-of-the-art education, nothing but the best. But if you come from Morgan High School or Cambridge High School or Dover High School or Carrollton, just up the road, you don't get a quality education. You don't get the tools, you don't get the resources, you don't get the teachers, and you don't get the money that it takes to provide a quality education. And what has the state legislature done in response to this finding that the state funding mechanisms are unconstitutional? They have over and over again refused to fix it, despite having been ordered to do so by the Supreme Court. Who suffers as a result of that? Our children and our region. No Child Left Behind, which is formally referred to as the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, is well-intentioned, but is not working. And the question, I think, is a little bit loaded because it mentions the teachers' union. I don't turn to the teachers' union for advice. I do turn to teachers, though. And if you talk to teachers who teach in schools of rural Ohio, they will tell you that No Child Left Behind has been a disaster. It encourages, in fact, forces teachers to teach to the test. It stifles creativity. It punishes those school districts that need the most help and rewards those who don't. It fails to account for individual student development. It's got a number of problems. Now, there are some things in No Child Left Behind that are good. I think accountability is one of them. I think teachers should be accountable. And if you talk to most teachers, they're going to tell you they agree with that. But that doesn't mean that No Child Left Behind is good. It needs change. It needs reauthorized, or it needs changed and reauthorized. As far as charter schools go, I'm open to the prospect of what charter schools can bring, on the precondition that they in no way compromise or affect the ability of the public school system to deliver quality educational services to our children. And I started this response by talking about the importance of education. We, through my Renew Ohio program, have been working very hard on developing a strong, practicable educational experience for the kids in this region. It starts with Head Start before kindergarten, runs through elementary and secondary school, and runs into higher education and vocational training. If we're going to succeed in these new economies, the energy economy, the technology sector, healthcare sector, it's going to be because we've developed the workforce necessary to meet the jobs of the future. Some of the institutions we have in this region have been terrific. Kent State Regional Campus in Tuscarawas County, Zane State, OU Zanesville, OU Chillicothe. The list goes on and on. Working with industry, providing for a practical educational experience to meet the workforce jobs of tomorrow is a key component to our economic success.